Hello, 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 internets. Hello, Twitchticles. Hello, Twitchticles. In fact, uh, if somebody could register Twisticles as a site, I want to take that. In fact, the that's gonna totally be the name of my new band, the Twitchticles. We're a duo, of course. Anyway, welcome to OwnedWell. And we'll be talking about Unreal Tournament 4 today, guys. I am Mr. Grins. With me today is Mess and Paco. Mess, say hello.
Hello, Twitchland.
All right, Paco, are you there?
Put me up some decibels, baby.
Yeah. All right.
We had
Okay.
to turn down Paco in the break, so he's going to be talking louder to compensate. So just to warn everybody.
Yeah.
Honestly, I always talk at one volume, but my voice just carries. So
Well, I believe you. Anyway, here we are. I wanted to start off today with something that's not necessarily new, but something that Epic has been working on. The Unreal Tournament launcher. It's not to be confused with the server browser, which is something that's made by somebody
not
else.
UT launcher that Rush PL made. And that a lot of you who have been playing the build already may use that for your server browser. This is different. So continue.
Yep. So the UT launcher is actually something Epic has made that is going to be where a lot of the marketplace comes from. A lot of where you get a lot of your Unreal Tournament news. It's basically going to be your all-encompassing little Unreal Tournament haven, is what I think they're trying to make it out to be. So let's look at it. If we got here, it's actually a little box that comes up. If you ever played like League or something like that, it's like its own little box that usually comes windowed that you kind of launch the game from while doing other related game things inside of it. I've expanded it a little bit here, so you can see it a little bit better. But you can see it comes up like this. If you log in, you have your email up here and your name. If you haven't logged in, it says I think something like it not logged in, or it gives you an error of some sort. But you will need to be logged into the Unreal Tournament website for the functionality to be 100%, which, makes sense. You're going to have the feed, which is the latest videos and things like that they've posted, and this is how it comes up. A lot of people initially, especially when I'm trying to talk them through how to use it, were confused by this because what they don't see and we don't realize off the bat is that right here, this is actually a button. To me, it looks kind of like just like a logo.
Like a
Unreal
logo,
Tournament.
yeah.
that,
Exactly.
that threw me off too. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. So
Because there's no real definition between the
Mm-mm.
buttons. You have to mouse over them, and it's just you kind of discover it by accident.
yeah, and that's actually how I got mine installed. I was like, well, let's click on that. Maybe that'll give me some help. And bam, goes to the Unreal Tournament. And I like this screen when you click on the Unreal Tournament. It's got this nice. This is actually an install button or an update button if you need to update. So this will auto update, which is a feature that is going to make Unreal Tournament a lot more accessible to a lot of new people, which is a great idea. And you can launch UT from here.
And I think for those of you who first install it, you'll probably get some terms of service, like basically agreeing that you're playing a pre-alpha, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, once you agree to that, this is the screen that will show up.
Exactly, yeah, and that actually popped under my launcher, so I had to. It wouldn't install, and I was like, "What's going on?" And then it was actually under my launcher, the agreement, and then it installed for me.
Gotcha.
Yep. So I like this. It's got nice little icons. Straight to the forums. It's basically a portal, and I think it looks okay. It kind of reminds me of the Quake launcher type thing, but that's not bad. That's not a bad thing. If you look closely, Mess is in one of these pictures. Let's see if you guys can find him.
It might be a little grainy on stream.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
If anyone is actually able to figure this out, I'm gonna be a little creeped out. To be honest.
He's
I know who it is.
Creepy. Thank you. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so yeah, that's how you get into the game. So real quick launcher. I have an engine installed. I don't know what. Oh, the engine actually is on the library. If you own the engine, which is what you use to create maps, mods, and so forth, that will actually tie into this launcher, and then
yeah, you see where the no engine installed is grayed out. If you have
Yeah.
the engine, you'll actually have a launch button there for the engine itself. And Grins is actually showing you the library section. At the top, you'll have the U4 engine, the UE4 engine, and the build number. You'll have any projects that you've worked on, like test levels, stuff that you can download from the marketplace. Will show up here. So, people looking to get into the nitty gritty of the engine, which we'll be showing in later dates. This is kind of the spot you go to for that.
Yeah, and that's really cool tie-in. So a lot of the community developers can talk here and paste their projects and talk to each other and get ideas, and that's a really neat idea. I don't have the engine. I know Mess does, so on another stream, I think Mess is going to go further in the detail. We're also, if we can, fingers crossed, we might get some mappers on, and maybe they can give us tips to get everybody else like a jump start into it. But
And there are a lot of great tutorials already out there, but
Yeah.
I think, yeah, like you said, Mr. Grins, to get someone who's really like in the nitty gritty and churning out maps right now, it'd be great to get that kind of insight.
Yeah, but right now I think we're just gonna do an overview and try to help people. Like, if you don't have it already, go ahead and get it. This is gonna be the easier way to get into Unreal Tournament.
And actually,
Yeah.
I think I can link the launcher. I believe I created a command with Nightbot. Let's see if he works. Come on, Nightbot. Oh,
Thank
if
you,
that doesn't work,
Nightbot.
I'll just post the link for you guys. 'Cause,
Excellent.
Nightbot is apparently he's gone home for the evening.
Nightbot
Yeah,
takes a lot
but
of breaks.
He
I-
does.
But yeah, no, I just wanted to throw it in there. The launcher actually just makes everything so much easier. Instead of having to go every time, get the link, new install, yada yada. You just click a button. It does everything for you. And that's my type of technology. You just click it and it works.
Yeah, it's
So,
great.
exactly.
And with the
Yeah.
builds, a lot of people were complaining, even the ones that were staying involved were like, man, it's kind of annoying have to go, through the forums, download the build every single time, relink the stuff to the UT launcher. When this does it all for you, to tell you, do you have the latest build? If you don't, here, click this button, you can download, and then you're ready to go. It makes it so user friendly.
Yep.
Which is kind of surprising given that this is a pre-alpha that we're talking about.
Yeah, and then I forget who it was, but they were working on this recently. I was watching a stream and I've forgotten his name, so that's embarrassing. But anyway, the last tab we haven't talked about was Marketplace, and this is where I think best put it, like, it's really powerful in such a small package, because this is where if you're you make just a skin pack or something like that. I believe there are some animation packs down here that if you make this is where the Unreal Tournament is going to be focused on selling the weapons and skins, maybe, or your animation packs, your skin packs, your map packs, and this is where it's all going to be available, is through here. So it's just click it, and then there's probably a little transaction and you're going to get it. And that's, I think, is a really good idea, especially for what the Unreal Tournament free to play I guess structure
not free
is
to
going
play,
to do.
just free is how they're saying it's going to be. And I mean, I think at this point we really don't know how exactly the marketplace is going to work. Like that one there is for Unreal Engine.
Yeah, most of the
which
stuff
can
you
give
see
us
now
a-
is engine related. Like
Right.
you said,
Yeah.
it's assets you can buy that people have already developed so you can use in your game. But Epic has already gone out and said that this will be, like you said, excuse me, Mr. Grins, this will be the place where, people who are creating content for Unreal Tournament can deposit it, and it'll be a place where you want to release it for free, that's absolutely viable. But if you think it's worthy and people are willing to pay for it, you can do that as well. And that's where the percentage comes in, because those of you who have purchased the engine, you know that the agreement is, I believe it's $20 a month, and then what is it, 5% of income? I'd have to double check, but it's a small percentage given the power of the engine and what you can create with it. So
Yeah, and we all, like, if you're returning to UT and you've been in another Unreal Tournament, that's one great thing about Unreal Tournament that I think is missing in a lot of games right now, is the ability to do whatever the heck you want in it. I mean, you could still play UT99 in giant bathroom maps, and you could still play crazy Monster Hunt in UT2K4,
Oh.
And I don't know what it was called, but it was like, I don't know, the mods are insane, and that's what's great about Unreal Tournament.
Yeah, and so with UT99, you have like the toilet maps and all that crazy stuff. I'm pretty sure on the Unreal 4 engine, you can actually have the toilets like flushing and send people into the sewer system. And so I don't know.
Level plumbing is what Paco is
Yeah,
most
pretty-
excited for in this
Pretty
game.
much,
Yeah.
but I mean, I think that's what a lot of us are excited about. I mean, with UT99, all sorts of people were unleashing all sorts of creativity on all sorts of fronts, whereas with UE4, it's sort of just going to push those limits, because I mean, look how far they were able to take the original. 15 years later, should be able to do some really cool things.
Yep. All right. So what we're going to do now, we're going to do a quick round robin on what pros and cons of what each of us thought about the launcher. For me, I like it, especially I think this button might need to be more intuitive on how to get your stuff working. Like maybe actually go there first instead of feed. But I understand feed is supposed to be like the heart of the community, which maybe they want to do the launcher to be more focused on. I don't know. That's what I thought. I do like that they're starting to do, like, there's a Twitch thing here. They're posting Twitch streams. I think that's a great idea. Maybe incorporate some of the Counter-Strike launcher thing, where they have the highest Unreal Tournament streams up at the moment. I think that's really good. That's a good
Yeah,
place
talking
to step
about
forward.
any leagues that are going, league matches
Yeah,
that are
exactly.
upcoming, all that kind of info right within this interface. I mean, that's stuff they've already discussed about wanting to have, and it'll be interesting to see if it's here or in the game or both.
Right.
I think that'd be really cool, like you said, to see.
Yeah, and I think something that if they haven't thought about it yet, I don't know, I might have missed this, but I haven't heard any talk of Steam. I think I heard a yes at some point, but I'm not sure. I think it would be a huge mistake if Unreal Tournament, even if it is free, is not available through Steam. Because Steam is a really big way of
Platform.
delivering content and games and digital content to people. Even if you can just get the game and then everything else is run through the launcher, I still think you need to be on Steam because, like, I played Quake, for instance, a couple times through the Quake browser launcher, and then I didn't touch it again because it was too much, almost of a headache to get there, or I didn't think about it because I didn't see it. But when it came up on Steam a couple months back, they got on Steam. I was like, $15? Yeah, I'm gonna buy that game. I haven't touched it yet, but I know I will at some point, and I went ahead and bought it for Steam because that's the kind of guy I am, and I think a lot of gamers are like that. They're like, "Oh, I'll play that at some point, and it's on sale right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and get it for later because I use Steam every day." And with talking about another game, BF4, they have their own launcher, and you know what? I'm not a BF4 player. I wasn't interested in it, and I know I'm definitely not gonna play it because I don't want to have to go through and install another launcher.
That was the biggest complaint about the game. Well, not the biggest, but there was a lot of complaint when Origin, which is what you're describing, which is, I guess, EA's answer to Steam, came out, and you had to launch that, and you had to launch Battlelog just to play the game, and it made it a clunky experience, like you said. And I do agree that I think there needs to be a presence on Steam because of just the numbers you can get from that. But it certainly feels like with this interface that they're showing here, this is to be their substitute for Steam, at least for Unreal Tournament. You know?
Yeah, I think in my opinion it would be a mistake to not be able to at least have some presence on Steam as a platform to get started.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be exclusionary. I think you'd be able to play there. I just think the marketplace may be or will be excluded.
Yeah, and that's
this. Like, you won't be able to buy and sell UT related skins on the Steam marketplace. I don't think.
Yeah, which I think is fine. And that's, if Unreal Tournament wants to do that, that's fine. I just think they need to not try and compete with Steam. I think that Steam needs to be their pad as like a launch pad to get into Unreal Tournament and its launcher and its marketplace. That's separate. Does that make sense?
I think so.
Makes sense
I mean, you
to me.
certainly can't deny the number of users on Steam.
Yeah, it's huge.
I mean, one Steam sale, the numbers, they don't lie as far as the amount of units and people you can get into the game just from that. So
yeah, well,
that's definitely something to consider because we want a lot of people playing the game. And I think what you're saying in general is that we don't want to limit the ways people can access the game, especially easy ways like Steam, which is everybody has Steam open. You're going to see it there. Be like, oh, I'm going to try that.
Yep. So that's my quick take on the launcher. I was gonna pass it. I guess we can pass it to you, Paco. What do you think about the launcher and what you're gonna say?
Yeah, no, I like it. I mean, the only issue I had with it as well is just where they have the Unreal Tournament logo below the marketplace. Like, now that you're hovered over it, it's obvious that you're supposed to click it. But I think for a lot of first-time people, I know for me, it took me about a minute to find, where the heck's Unreal Tournament? And it's so stupid because it says it, but just the eyes are trained to sort of not look for that. So maybe if it was a bit more intuitive. And going on to the whole debate about, like, if it should be on Steam or not, yada yada, I think absolutely it should be available for download over Steam. But I also understand them trying to set up their own hub. I think just the best of both worlds is, you can get it over Steam and then you can do even more stuff with the launcher. So, where I'm at. I'm also going to make sure I don't say a boot, but go on.
It's too late.
He's self-conscious about it now.
According to chat, you've already dropped one.
Nice.
All right, Mess, what's your overall take on the launcher?
Well, to be honest, I didn't use it at first because I was already conditioned to the whole go to the forums, download it there, use RushPL's launcher for server browser, and away you go. But once I actually see, which is weird because I had the engine. I downloaded the engine before this and used it a little bit to kind of test out mapping. But now that all that's kind of married together in this interface, I think it's great. It's going to make it a lot easier for people to play the pre-alpha. particularly with the fact that right now we're at a weekly build where every week you got to re-download a pretty sizable build.
Yeah.
And for people who don't
Yep.
have good internet connections, I know Sponge, I've spoken to him, just because the sheer tedious nature of having to re-download it for him, it precludes him from keeping up with it, basically. That's obviously not Epic's fault, but I think this makes it easier for people who felt like just kind of getting access to the alpha was a bit of a chore. You almost had to have someone who was already in it and enthusiastic about it, kind of hold your hand through the process to get to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There were certain things, like even when errors popped up, like, oh yeah, I remember you got to Google on the forums to get this file and download this, and just little hiccups that you'd have to walk them through, where this cuts all of that out, which I think is great.
Yeah.
Well, on the flip side, maybe to play devil's advocate, maybe those extra barriers for entry are a good thing, because the people who are getting the game are the people who are interested in testing. They know it's a pre-alpha, yada yada. Whereas if you make it too accessible, you're just gonna have all these noobs being like, "Oh my God, it's broken! I don't like this. I don't like that." So it's sort of a balance between how easy you have it for people to access it. And
Yeah, I mean that's a good point, because when it went viral at one time, I mean it's exactly like you said. We had a influx of enthusiastic yet uninformed people playing what a lot of people thought was a finished game, and then you had all these reactions that were largely negative, and it just became a big problem and a big mess, which is why Epic obviously took control of the build system. And I think they're striking a decent balance right now between too much exposure and promoting it too much, and making it easily accessible to the people who do care and do want to keep up with it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and as far as the rest of it, yeah, the marketplace, the library, all of that's, I think it's just smart for them to do it. And it's simple. It doesn't seem too intrusive or difficult to navigate. I think in the long run, as long as they continue to update it and improve it, it's going to be a good system for what they got going right now.
Yep. All right. I think it's time to move on further into the game. Also, I want to point out real quick. I don't think now I'm looking at the stream. There's tooltips when you hover over links on the thing. I don't think they're showing up, but they do give a little bit more information when you're hovering over it. Also, if you have stuff that you want to get more involved with Unreal Tournament, definitely the forums right now at unrealtournament.com is where you want to go. That's where the devs mostly are paying attention to, is from what I understand. Anyway, so let's just launch the game, and we're going to head off into Unreal Tournament 4. Or just Unreal Tournament.
Yeah, we call it UT4 just because, obviously
we've been calling the original Unreal Tournament for 15 years. It's just a bit of an adjustment.
Yeah, we need some sort of something to discern between the two.
Yeah, that's just from UT99, guys. That's our background. Most of us are from UT99 from OwnedWell.
And I love this update. The background already. Like as soon as you get into the build, of course, it was released on Halloween last Friday, which certainly makes it appropriate. And Epic, it's no secret that they love. They're fans of Halloween. I mean, they decorate their studios, all that kind of stuff. But going with a Halloween themed update, and actually, I think it was Henrik Ryosa. I don't know if any of you are familiar with him from the forums. He's the one who designed the latest logo. He went to the first Epic event that I went to. He designed this splash screen, so it looks pretty cool. And I don't know if anybody recognizes the castle in the background.
That
Barricade?
is Peak. Oh no,
it's Peak.
It's Barricade, isn't it?
Wait,
I'm actually not sure.
never mind. It's not.
It's not Peak.
Well, I saw the one point that I'm used to flipping on the left, and then I went up to
the
the
top
high
of
right.
that thing. It might be Peak. I don't know. Maybe it's a combination. Anyway,
It's Phobos.
It's Phobos.
It's
It's face. Anyway, my game is like, it was totally taking my sound settings, but now it's not. So I kind of dropped it down. I had to tab out and drop it down.
Yeah, that's actually a bug with Unreal Tournament right now, is the audio. For some reason, I don't know if everyone has this issue, but I know several people have had it, including myself. Lowering the volume doesn't seem to work in game always, so you might actually have to do it within the Windows mixer if it's just too overpowering. So.
Yep. So Rexy's saying that's Unreal 1, you morons. Thanks, Rexy. Always keeping us honest is Rexy.
Yep.
We all love Rexy.
And he cannot answer a question without belittling you afterwards.
Nope. But that's why we love Rexy. Anyway, Mesh, tell us a little bit about some of the Easter eggs that they put in here, which I thought were really cool.
Well, obviously, when you first get in, you got the Halloween theme and the music, which I thought was pretty cool. But the one Easter egg I don't want to say I found it, but noticed while playing is the top score actually gets the Jason hockey mask from Friday the 13th, which is great. And there's been a few posts about it on the forums because in addition to that kind of Halloween Easter egg, they've added some new taunts, or they call them emotes, I guess.
Yep.
In the game, I'll call them taunts. One of them, I swear, it's a spitting image of. It's like a combination between the MC Hammer dance and a crab walk. It's really hard to describe. We'll have to get in game and show that to you because it's hilarious. But when you add the Jason mask to it, it makes it even more absurd because you're seeing this like menacing looking character do this ridiculous dance.
Yeah, it's like a cross between the Carlton and the Destiny like trance dance. If you guys know what I'm talking about.
That's a great description.
That's pretty good. I just know that I was playing a game with Cafe and some guy won and he wasn't doing the crab dance and Cafe was just like boo. This guy did not deserve to win.
This guy does
what
not
is he
know
doing?
how to win.
Yeah, get him out of here. And we made sure he didn't win for the rest of the night. But
All right, guys. I'm actually on my end. I'm hopping into a game of Outside. If my screen minimizes randomly, it's because Windows is trying to change my background. What is it like? Not color, but scheme, because it thinks my computer's dying.
Windows Basic. Yeah, maybe it is.
We're gonna call that dance the Halloween Shuffle.
Maybe you need to listen to your computer more, Mr. Grins.
Never. It does what I tell it to. Anyway, so. Into the game, let's talk about some of the major updates, and the most major update in my eyes right now is definitely the movement. I was talking to some other players.
That's got to be the biggest thing, and honestly, one of the most welcome changes we've seen in builds in a while. We call it the Raxi build, I guess, because he made that post on the forum suggesting some value changes to, I think it was ground, excel, decel, and I think he actually adjusted air movement as well. And basically, he didn't tell anyone what the values were. He just said, hey guys, I think you'll like this. Try it out. Let me know what you think. And pretty much, I think it was basically unanimous glowing reviews for it. Everyone said this is much better. And it wasn't a case of where the previous settings were just bad. It's just this felt so much better, demonstrably better, to where when you went back to the actual build, it was like, oh, I feel slow now. I feel chubby.
Yep.
So the fact that Epic responded to that and put it in the very next, or I think it was the next build.
It was the next build,
volumes.
Yeah, so I agree. For me, I was thrilled to see that they said, a lot of people are saying they like it. Let's test it out and check it out.
And I think they couldn't deny either once they got in and started. Because one of the things I noticed when they did commit that build, they stuck around and played for like hours. I mean, that was one of the I guess, except early when the builds first started coming out, that's one of the few times I remember seeing a lot of the devs playing the game with us because I think they were so excited about the changes.
Yeah, and so, I mean, I wouldn't say that the movement before was horrible, but I don't think it was good, to be honest. It had too much of a sluggish feel. I felt like I was walking around in a sumo suit. And in Unreal Tournament, it just didn't feel nearly as nice. Whereas with the Excel and Decel now, you feel like you have a lot more control over your character. You can wiggle, you can circle strafe.
Yeah, and the wiggle is big, overall, particularly for insta-gibbers.
Yeah, well, not even just that, just for moving around, just the fluidity of the movement feels a lot better now. So if people haven't tried the build in a couple weeks, this one's definitely worth checking out, playing around with, and I think a lot of people will enjoy some of these changes.
Yeah. A lot of people are saying, like as I was just mentioning, a lot of these people were asking for these changes, and like Paco and Mess are pointing out, it's really cool that the devs responded so quickly, even after. I mean, think about it. I guess
it's a little relative because there are certain players, like Zayas mentioned in chat, there have been certain players who've been crying for a movement increase. I guess it just wasn't presented the proper way to get a lot of people behind it. I think the thing that Raxi did that made it so easy to get behind is he took the numbers out of it. It was just strictly feel-based. He's like, download this, try it out, and post your thoughts. And it was very simple, and everyone basically, like we said, had unanimous agreement that this is the way it should be. I don't care what the values are. This feels good.
Yep.
Whereas maybe in previous concerns, it's like, oh, we need to increase movement to this specific number. It was like you get lost in the data and the math and forget that this game should be about feel.
Yeah. Well, I actually watched the stream where the devs, and believe it was Steve, but don't quote me on it, who was mentioning why the movement was like it was and wasn't changed earlier, is because of netcode. He was actually saying. He said that he was afraid that the values that are in play now would actually make people harder to hit because of not being able. The server wouldn't be able to update your position in time for the projectiles to hit you and hit scan to work correctly. So they were very hesitant to change it to something that was not server impactful, but would demand that the server update you more often and more accurately so that the wiggle, you could actually hit somebody who's wiggling. If you follow what I'm saying, and he was
obviously that was one of the biggest, I guess, defenses for not making the change was so it'll affect the netcode. But I think what they came to realize, I don't know if it just was a revelation or just someone explained it to them, but it's basically like that shouldn't matter. You should worry about that after you get the movement and the feel and the gameplay right. I mean, yes, the netcode is extremely important, but I think we can all agree that the actual feel and the gameplay of the game should not be secondary to the netcode.
Oh yeah, I mean, if the game doesn't feel good, who cares if the netcode is good, right?
Exactly, because people won't be playing it. So I think they came to that. I don't know that they came to that realization, but I think they realized that that's not a consolation worth making, and that this change, even with the implications to the netcode, felt good enough to go ahead and make, and we'll deal with the implications afterwards. I mean, they've already said, and I think we know now, it does affect the netcode. What they had implemented before, which is good, I think we all admit it's very good, will have to be adjusted because of this update.
Yep. And I think I don't know if it was that they didn't want to do it. I think they were just afraid that it would totally break the game. But then you think, you know what, good on them for putting it in a build and saying, here you go, let's try it out. And you know what, I think it's working wonderfully. And if the overwhelming response is this is great, I don't see why they wouldn't keep it. So, that's great. That's great news for everybody. Especially, and I'm telling when I'm talking to players who are apprehensive of playing this game or trying it out, I'm like, first off, it's free, duh. And so give it a shot. And secondly, I'm like, the netcode has changed. There's ping compensation now. We can talk about that in a minute. And there's the movement. It feels great now. And a lot of people were like, ew, movement. But no, it feels really crisp. If I had to describe in one word, it would be crisp.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing that's hard to convey through a visual media with streaming. It's like we can tell you till the cows come home how good the movement feels, but you're not going to see it from the stream. You have to try it for yourself. It is a feel thing, and you will notice it if you try previous builds.
Yep. And also, if you've actually seen me playing before, like you saw how terrible I was, I'm actually moving better now.
Oh, man.
It's
interesting. I think what it does two things. It feels like it raises both the floor and the ceiling for the movement to me. It's like it has a little bit more margin for error because it's a little more responsive, but at the same time, the people who are really good, like for those of you who know someone like Knob or any of the big-time BT players, I mean, those guys will be able to take this movement to the next level because it's so responsive. Basically, what they did is they increased the ground movement and acceleration and deceleration by, I think, 50%. So basically, 150% of the original value.
It's substantial, and I mean, as I said, if you played the pre-alpha before and you're comparing, it's just a day and night difference right now. So.
Yep.
It's definitely noticeable.
Let's move on from movement. I mean, we could talk about movement all the time just because we're so excited about it. But let's definitely move on. Somebody in chat was actually asking about the netcode. There is we talked about it a little bit last show, but we can talk about it again. The ping compensation has been included in this build. It's on by default now. I know from my experience. Oh, can you turn it off?
Yeah, you can turn it off. I think if you do predict 0 in the console, and then to turn it back on, it would be predict 160.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Why on earth would you want to turn it off?
Well, I mean, you never know. Like some people who have low latency to begin with may like the way, or may have gotten used to that feel. You never know.
Yeah. Well,
The fact that we like options. It's Unreal Tournament. Let's not ask questions.
Yeah.
yeah, fair enough. I mean, if somebody wants to lag themselves, I hope they're playing against me.
Touche.
Yeah.
But-
So what I was gonna illustrate is that I live in Texas, which is like central, lower America. If you're not from North American region, and I actually was playing on a French server, and I could hit people, and it seemed pretty accurate, and it felt a lot better than I would normally than any other. Like if I was playing UT99, even with ping compensation, I think it felt better than I thought it would.
Yeah.
Than it would in the other games is, I guess, what I'm trying to spit out.
Well, I know you've had trouble even just playing in New York from Texas, and then yeah, here you are in France, getting monster kills, shooting people, which was pretty cool. And I mean, for me, I'm more Toronto area, which is closer to Europe, but I can play on the European servers no problem. I barely notice a difference, so
Yeah.
it's going to be cool for cross-continental play. I think as we get more people playing and more tests, we'll see if any issues arise with, phantom projectiles and not being able to dodge stuff like that. I don't know if it's been tested enough ping on ping, but so far the results have been really positive.
And that's something that we'll get into as we do more of these UT analysis. We'll start organizing some semi-competitive games to give this the alpha, the testing it deserves, because all this is data for Epic. Like all these
Yes.
games, I mean, it's data for them to assess where the game's at and where they need to go with it. And I think we all know it's going to be a rather long development cycle. But I think we're all
Yes.
fine with that as long as the end result is a great game that we can play for many years after.
Yep. Is this changed? I'm trying to. Okay, there I did it. Oh no. I don't know. You guys can't see what I'm doing, but I'm doing the roll, which is a movement thing. If you hold down crouch as you jump, I kind of slide. I don't know if you can tell if I'm not in third person. Can I do behind view? Behind view 1. Does that work? Yes. Okay, there we go. Oh god. I'm doing the roll, and sometimes I don't not fall off. If you do the roll, go to an edge and then hold back the opposite direction, you actually don't fall off the edge.
Right.
Which I thought is goofy.
Or you have that sort of like glitchy type motion where
Yeah.
you're leaning backwards and you're
Like you've got Velcro on you when you're doing the roll.
Yeah, see, I can roll off and then back on, but now it doesn't seem to work as much. But I don't think that's intended. I don't think I'm supposed to be able to fall off a ledge, grab it, and then come back on. Basically, what I'm doing, because that's pretty
Yeah.
weird.
It's pretty weird. I mean, I know we were messing it with that one day, and never really messed with it since. But
Yeah,
I will say I like the third-person cam now. They've added some fluidity to it with the latest update, which is pretty cool. Although there is a bug now with first-person view, which I'm sure anybody that spectated knows. You basically view from. It's either like you're crouched or you're just viewing from their ankles.
Oh, and
I mean,
first
that's-
person it is a little lower.
that's the most important vantage point.
Unfortunately. Although I mean, third person is good for CTF in particular, because you kind of take in a lot of the action. See some
yeah.
sweet roll moves like Mr. Grins is doing right now.
bro.
I
But-
I just want to point out too with the translocator, I really don't like that confetti type fireworks effect it makes.
Well, see,
you-
let's discuss that a little bit. I think there's several reasons for that. One, the thing it shoots too fast and goes too far. Like the acceleration on it is ridiculous. So obviously you can get across the map too quickly. So to compensate for that, they have to make it easy to see. It's going to be hard to hit. That's
Wait.
why it adds that little, comet trail behind it when it's flying across the map.
I just think there's better changes they can make than adding the comet tail. Like maybe just make it not as super speedy, but like the thing with that comet tail, could you imagine 5 people translocating to a spot in the map? You're just gonna have like the fireworks in the middle. Like I mean personally, I think it'd be horrible to spectate. I think it'd be horrible to play just with everybody translocating around like boom, red, blue, fireworks, eruption here.
Even
there.
the
I mean,
the animation for when they come out of a translocate is pretty overpowering.
Yeah.
Although let's be honest, I mean I'm sure a lot of this, particularly animation stuff, is still placeholder.
Yeah, I
But-
believe a lot of it is. Not all of it, though.
Yeah, so some of it's placeholder. We don't know what they plan on doing, but it was actually something I was doing with Cafe a few days ago. We went into a UT99 server, and I showed off one of the effects I really like with the translocator. And as you're translocating, it's almost like your body's evaporating upwards. You see like the imprint of your body as it vaporizes into nothingness. And I thought that was actually a really cool effect, and it could look awesome on UT4.
Right.
However, I don't
Well,
know.
see, that's
We'll
the
see if
thing. We
somebody
need
can
to
implement it.
be looking in, because it's difficult, because you could have a cool idea, but not necessarily have the skill set or the knowledge to implement it in the engine. But there are people who can do that. So, I mean, I think it's up to the community to try to unite people who maybe have the talent but not the idea, and then the idea but not the talent to put these kind of things together. I mean, we got Cafe in Twitch chat right now talking about, hey, he makes stuff for the engine. I mean, we could showcase that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Those who might not have the ability to do that could give an idea to someone who can.
Yeah, and so it was something that I showed to Cafe, and Cafe was like, you know what? I think I might be able to implement this. So if he's able to do it, it's something I'd love for us to showcase.
And that's kind of, I mean, we've already seen that work with Raxi's post about the movement. Like, if you show something, people respond to it, in all likelihood you'll see it implemented.
Yep, this is the time if you want something done. Like this is why pre-alphas. That's what they want to hear. They want to hear ideas. They want to see stuff. So it's really cool moment in a game.
Yeah, it's great. And I was going to say, that's the one thing that's a little bit misleading about the forums, is that that's their main interaction point right now, but at the same time they don't respond a whole lot to talk. There has to be some sort of tangible evidence of something, like with this movement build, there was an actual update that people tested out and tried, and then they did the same and they decided they liked it. So you can't just go onto the forums and state your ideas or state why you think this would work. You have to kind of provide some evidence.
Yeah, I mean, I think words are wind. You're gonna need a bit more than that if you wanna have your ideas rise up, and turn into something.
Yeah, let's look at chat. If anybody's in chat has anything to ask, we'll talk about it right now. Cud, before we hop into a server somewhere, Cud's asking if there are new spectator controls. I don't think so. I haven't heard anything about spectator yet. I know there's
they're
a
not
thread
working
going
on it right
but...
now, and it seems like they keep breaking it. They had one build where it first came out and everybody was excited, and then I think the next build it didn't work. The first person didn't work again. Now there's the bug where you're basically in crouch position, or ankle view as I call it, in first person, so you can't really use it. Like, we couldn't watch a high level duel because you'd be watching from that perspective. It just it wouldn't work.
Oh, okay.
So unfortunately, I feel like, I mean, it's just going to be growing pains with the build, because they're working on things that are, frankly, as much as I hate to say it, more important than spectator right now. As much as we want it to be working and them to start implementing advanced features, what they've talked about wanting to implement, it's not time for them to work on that right now.
Yep. I think Ninja said something as weapon change sped up this build. It might be. It seems a little faster, but if it is, it's infinitesimally small. It's not something that I think is game changing. Have you guys noticed?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But weapon balance is not something I believe they're working on yet. This is all about getting the game and movement to work. And once they get that set, then you can do weapon balance. Because, you can't balance the shock rifle and then suddenly have your guys move faster, because that totally changes, the radius of the ball explosion. So weapon balance is not something they're at yet. They've changed some things, like, for instance, the flak cannon secondary got a little beef
And the
up.
Sniper was probably the biggest thing they've been playing with. But they're definitely testing stuff. But it's just, like you said, they're not really stuck in the minutia of dialing in the weapons right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is good, because I feel like there's quite a few weapons that I don't really agree with how they are right now, but I'm sure a lot of those things are going to be subject to change. Like, for example, even the flak, I just don't like how far it goes and the bounce off, etc. However, I'm sure that'll be nerfed going forwards. Or at least I think it will. Like, what do you guys think of the flak cannon right now?
I would agree. The flak primary right now is extremely overpowered, and it needs both the damage reduction and I think a reduction on or a greater reduction on the ricochet. It feels like it does just as much damage on the ricochet as it does from like a standing shot. Whereas you notice in the UT99 flak, for example, where certain shards would die after that first initial hit, I don't think we see that with the flak now, or at least not enough, because it's still so devastating even off the bank shot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is.
Well, I like the idea of the flat cannon that, it's a devastating weapon if you can get up close and hit a guy directly. Whereas with the current flat cannon, you can hit him from way away. You can shoot around a corner, bounce it off, kill him. I mean, I guess in terms of the balance, I think the flat cannon should be sort of like a shotgun, where you get up close, you do a bunch of damage. Whereas right now it has some range on it, and it lasts quite a while too.
I'm actually okay with the range on the flak secondary, but I do agree that the primary needs to be maybe nerfed a bit. But I'm all for that.
Yeah, the
black ball
secondary's not
grenade
bad. I
going
think the
crazy.
splash damage on it is a little wonky right now, but that's kind of nitpicking. But I definitely like the arc of it, which it was really bad in some of the earlier builds. But
Yeah.
it's definitely come a long way. So I mean, they're definitely working. They're tweaking stuff. They're trying to get certain kind of big picture items fixed with the weapons, but they're not, like I said, getting into the super finer details quite yet.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else in chat? People are talking. Are the same amount of shards in this flak as they are in UT99s? I think it's around the same. I would say, if anything, they stay alive.
I have
longer.
not counted them.
Yeah, I haven't.
Well, they definitely stay alive longer, as you
Yeah.
They bounce more.
Let's see what
and they're
else
more-
is in.
Well, I think as far as the weapons, there are a few other things I would say. Obviously, the link gun primary super powerful right now, and the fact that
Yes.
it blocks projectiles. I like that element, but the fact that it does so much damage and is blinding on top of that is too much. Minigun, I like the secondary a lot. The primary, I'm not. I think it's too powerful right now, but
It's
I'm not
the-
sure by how much.
For the pulse?
or,
No,
no,
the
I think for
minigun.
the
Oh, the
minigun.
minigun.
The pulse primary is basically useless. Like, even up close, if you're up close, you still should be using the link primary. Or excuse me, the secondary of the pulse is useless.
Yes.
the
The
secondary is
primary
useless.
is just devastating, even up close.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So why even have the secondary for the pulse?
I agree, and I'm sure that's something that they're gonna consider going forwards. But yeah, there are some changes. Like I do like that the pulse primary has a buff on it.
As
And,
utility now.
Yeah, and even going on though, I don't know how I feel about the bio turning into pretty much a minigun of goo. Like I always liked the aspect of it that the secondary bio was so strong, and I mean when you guys are casting the UT99 duels, you get those goop kills where a guy's fully stacked and he gets gooped by this like slow
it's so
moving massive
huge.
bio, and I feel like that sort of balances the weapon. The fact that it can deal the most damage out of anything.
Is there bio on
Whereas-
outside? Where is it?
Um,
I'm like
you
trying
know,
to,
I'm
I'm trying to
actually
find
not
the guns.
sure. Find the
That's what
bio.
I'm talking about.
Yeah,
You know, I was you kind of you alluded to something, Paco. You were talking about the bio, how crazy it is right now. Carmack had a great statement at the first event. He basically said, when you're in this early stage of development, we're in pre-alpha right now. I mean, you don't get much earlier and playable. You have to test the extremes. You have to push it to the point where it's way ridiculously overpowered, because otherwise you won't know where to draw the line.
That's a good point.
So basically saying, do that kind of stuff now. Get crazy. Try something ridiculously off the wall, because if it's messed up and it doesn't work, you can just delete it or dial it back.
Yep, and
But
that
how
build
are you
changes
going
in
to
a
know
week.
what the limit is if you never reach it?
Yep, the build
That's
changes in
true.
a week, so we might as well go crazy on some stuff.
And that's why, as I said, there's some issues I have with some of the weapons and some of the balance, but it's such a work in progress that, what's the point of nitpicking, being like, oh, I don't like this, I don't like that, when a lot of these things I think are going to be subject to change anyways. And I mean, if they're going to be experimenting with stuff, I'm cool with that too. I think there's a lot of things that they could probably improve and make even better than whatever versions we know. So
Yep, just like somebody in chat, I think LSD God was saying the armor values are crazy right now. Is that true? I think the armors, I think the shield belt's okay. I think perhaps armor might give you a little too much. I don't know. What do you guys think?
yeah, well, I guess it's going to depend on how much damage the weapons are doing. It's all sort of connected. However, I agree. 200 armor. I always kind of liked UT99 where it had that you maxed out at 150, as opposed to getting up to 200.
Here's a question. If anybody in chat has ever tried this, talking about mantling, has anybody tried to break their fall with a mantle and lived and not taken fall damage? There's some games where you can abuse that. Quick example is in Call of Duty. If you jump out of a second-story window and mantle on something on the ground, you will take no damage. It's just something I'm concerned about. I haven't ever been able to pull that off in testing, but it'd be something like I rocket jump and then land next to a box. Can I grab it? I don't know. If that's true, let me know if you've done something like that.
I haven't actually tried that, but I've noticed I've had some weird fall damage at times when I didn't think I should. So I don't think that's actually going to be a problem with mantling at this point. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I also noticed I was able to drop off face in some creative ways to avoid getting damage. I don't know if
Well, I
some of
believe
them
you
were
can use
bugs.
the wall dodge to mitigate fall damage. I know that was something they've toyed with and been
Oh.
adjusting, but I don't know how overpowered it's going to get. I was thinking a mechanic like maybe using the roll to mitigate fall damage up to a certain height could be useful, you know?
Right?
Kind
Go
of where it's
full
just
parkour,
instead of
yeah.
landing. Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, it's carrying your momentum. It's distributing your momentum. It's, you know, it's physics. It's realistic. If you, instead of landing flat-footed, you kind of roll to dole out that momentum, you can take less damage and jar your body less. So I think up to a certain height, that makes sense, but I don't know how they'd implement it really. And of course, there's the crazy, you could do fall damage. If you land on people's heads, you basically transfer your fall damage into them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Which is pretty
that's kind of
crazy.
cool. I like
I
that.
actually do kind of like that. I like the element, you know, you land on a dude's skull, kind of crush it, and the more momentum, the more damage.
Yeah, instead of a static damage value.
The 1 HP that we're used to from UT99.
I want to
However-
comment. I think Captain Flaccid said earlier, done being crazy with the bio. Let's get back to reality. I agree with that. To be honest, I think the bio at this point might be a joke. Like, because they actively mentioned at the event that they're thinking, I mean, they possibly could consider scrapping the bio entirely just because they feel like they can't figure out what to do with it. So that's why they're trying some crazy stuff right now with it.
Okay, another question from chat. Hey, OwnedWell, what are your thoughts about DM Leah Alpha? I certainly have not played it.
I'm not a big fan of it. It is so tight, so close quarters. I like the look of it, the textures and stuff. I just think it's too much of a maze right now for deathmatch, particularly a duel. I don't know. That's my initial opinion. I'm not a big time dueler, and I haven't admittedly watched a ton of games on it. But I'm certainly not a big fan of that particular map.
Yeah, so for me, I haven't actually played it, but I've watched a couple of games, and I agree with your sentiment on the fact that it looks pretty cool. Like, I like the aesthetics of the map, but I think I need to play it more before giving an opinion.
Yeah, I haven't actually played it. I've seen some of the maps people come up with, and they're really promising. I can't wait till Spectator gets fixed and we get some really steady builds. I really want to see some high-level duels going on, and we're gonna feature some of that at some point on OwnedWell. I think the game's a little too new now to make a whole, like, maybe tournament about it yet.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that, you know, right now focus on getting playtests, some organized games going on it, and then from there, as the game starts getting a bit more polished, start doing more competitive stuff and testing it out.
Yep. I am sad they took out the goo jump that Chumbo was showing off that one day.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I saw him doing it on a stream a couple times.
Chumbo dissects this game. He does. But that's what you need to be doing in a pre-alpha, is just trying to break it, because that's the point. You try to find holes in the game and you fix them.
Not even just the pre-alpha, like 15 years in, me and Nob are still trying to break aspects of CTF. So I mean, but yeah, no, it's definitely important for the devs, because I mean, people are going to be trying it, so it's better to spot and find as many issues early rather than, you know, having somebody do it at a tournament. So.
Yep. I'd like to see the impact hammer give a little bit more oomph, but that's another can of worms about if team boosting and dodging and things want to be implemented. I don't know. I think we've talked about that before, and it might be kind of beating a dead horse. But
yeah, it could be a bit redundant. But I was actually thinking of putting together a couple of small videos, maybe 2-3 minutes, showing some of the reasons why team boosting and some of these mechanics are awesome. Because as I said earlier, you know, words are wind. We obviously know how they feel, why they're good, the aspects that they provide. But if we can put that into, you know, small videos that people can check out, maybe maybe it'll convince some people.
Yep. Is OwnedWell from 2K4? No, we're actually the majority of us are from UT99. OwnedWell is actually hosting a dual cup coming up for UT99, and we have just started our inaugural OwnedWell ICTF season. So we're gonna expand into UT4 and hope maybe even other games at some point. But right now we're starting off with what we know, and that's UT99.
Yep. And so yeah, just touching back on that, we did the draft yesterday. Pretty crazy stuff. So Sundays we're going to be having UT99 content, and every Mondays we're going to be focusing on UT4. And as the game's developed, you know, we might even start expanding, adding more days.
Yep. I think we haven't named this segment yet. I was thinking, you know, I was at work today, and I was like, maybe we call it like Spotlight On, and then we could say Mondays is UT4. I don't know.
I like that.
Somebody
I'm glad that you're thinking about this while you're at work.
It's what I do.
Hell yeah.
Helmet should be a passive armor pickup, no bonus amount of armor. I don't. Oh, kind of like boots. I don't know if they've ever implemented something like that in UT that I know of. I'm not sure how that would work. Because right now it just adds to armor.
But yeah, Cafe gave the suggestion that, you know, maybe it should reduce the headshot damage to just regular damage for one shot. And I agree with that. That sounds like a cool mechanic. You know, you're wearing a helmet. Obviously, if you get shot in the head while wearing a helmet, it's still gonna hurt you. But maybe instead of having it be, you know, that punishing blow, it reduces it just to regular damage.
I'd be all right with that. I mean, I don't see why we can't try it out. This is the time you want to try stuff out. You know, maybe we hate it and we get rid of it. Maybe we love it and keep it.
Hell yeah!
All right, I'm trying trick jumps here. And it's failing miserably. I am not an awesome duel player, and I'm terrible at BT. But yeah. Can we get Epic in here, please? I've seen RZE in the chat before. He was here last week. I think if OwnedWell starts getting bigger, I think we're definitely gonna post these on YouTube, and you know maybe the devs will see it, and it'll be really cool. I like how I like the conversations that we can have on live Twitch chat though. So if you're watching back on YouTube, stop by on Mondays and chat with us live.
Hey, sorry fellas, had to deal with my dog who was going ballistic in the backyard.
Rover!
Control!
I can't tell if he was trying to protect, like save my life, or like barking at the wind or a squirrel or something.
Squirrel!
Squirrel!
Oh man.
Where we at, boys? We gonna do some game? All this talk about Unreal, I want to play it.
All right, yeah, let's do that. I think chat seems to be quieting it down. Oh, here's another one. Hey, OwnedWell, what are your thoughts on the future of a new HUD being implemented? They actually talked a lot about the HUD on the stream that I was watching. I actually missed the most recent one, so I was at work, of course. But and if you're wondering when that is, it's on Wednesdays.
On Joe Wilcox posted on the forums, basically saying, "Hey guys, like, what are your ideas for kind of HUD outlines and the guns and all that kind of stuff?" So yeah, they're definitely focusing on that right now.
Yep. And I am down for a new HUD. It's a new game. I'm cool with a new HUD, just as long as it's not all over my screen and crazy. You know, I'm down for almost anything. I'm fine with the paper doll, quote unquote, which is a little man. I'm fine with the values. I would like, and I think a lot of people would like, options to turn everything off. I think they said that they're going to have options to do that for sure. I don't know about turning off the gun. That's a really popular from UT99. A lot of the pro players don't want the gun in the way.
Weapons show off, absolutely.
Yeah. I'd like an option because I actually play with it on, but that's because I always forget what weapon I have out. But I'm a noob, so. But that thing. What server we're gonna jump on? I don't know. You could probably. We're just gonna hop on some random server.
Let me take a look. I think a lot of us like the Montreal servers, although Ashburn's okay for me.
We could go to Cafe's
Do you
Overlord.
want to do CTF or DM? No,
Let's do some
I
CTF.
have bad ping to Cafe's Overlord. I'm sorry, Cafe.
Had bad experiences with his server.
I just get bad routing to it for some reason.
I can wall dodge to that though, so I don't need that hammer jump. Huh? I'm finding things out.
But I mean, I could suffer through that if that's where everybody wants to go. I'm a team
No,
player.
it's fine. I'm cool with whatever. Let's check out.
I'm just gonna join a server and you guys can find me. How about that?
Find Mr. Grins. Let's make a game of it. I dig it. Hey, I don't know if you guys want to join If
You
they
guys
so
wanna-
speak, or
You know what? Why don't we test
go hang out?
Why don't we test out the net code? I say some Northern France IDM and then maybe switch to normal weapons CTF after.
I could dig that. At
you wanna
least
do
then
it?
we'll all have bad ping.
Yeah.
Which one's the IDM one?
Northern France.
Okay, there. Northern France IDM. It's the only one called that. I'm an idiot.
Hell yeah. Let's
Wait,
only
you're
have
doing
98 ping
IDM. I
according
thought
to
we're doing
UT launcher.
weapons.
Let's see if that's right.
Well, I mean, I figure how about one game of Instagib and then we'll move on to CTF
I think
weapons.
Paco has a valid point because A, we'll show a little Instagib. B, it's a good way to test the netcode kind of en masse because it's just going to be one-shot kill, where the weapons, it kind of adds a lot of variability to the netcode and you won't notice a lot of stuff. Whereas with this, you'll notice, all right, how much do I have to lead with this? You know, it's a good showcase of the netcode, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Are we
So,
going Northern
you
France?
probably wanna
to get
go-
CTF.
IDM.
IDM
I don't think there's
focus.
really any maps worth playing for ICTF, whereas IDM, you can shoot the guns.
I see DM.
I don't know. I
don't see
I like
IDM.
outside. Outside's a fun pub map.
For Instagib,
Well, for Instagib, I don't know. I haven't tried it.
maybe.
It's great for weapons, I think.
Yeah, I agree. It's super fun for weapons. Whereas for Instagib, I'd probably just be standing high like an idiota.
I see Instagib DM. It's not IDM. Got it. Found it. I'm amazing.
Oh, I see you, Mr. Greens.
I'm in the. Oh, I'm dead. All right. The sounds are probably low, guys. I'm sorry, but it's the sounds. I just want to make sure they weren't blaringly loud. So see if I can turn up a little bit, because we're not gonna be talking
sup?
as much.
Oh, I'm gonna be talking.
Okay, maybe Paco will be yelling.
I just can't die.
Let's see.
I don't even know what my ping is. Looks like 113, 115. That's not too bad. What my sensitivity is.
I'll tab out real quick. Please don't die, UT.
Not today.
Not today, UT.
I think Cafe's gonna need to get on or something, because I think I'm gonna go godlike. Oh, never mind.
As soon as Paco says that, I end his spree.
Oh,
So if you're
I
watching stream,
would
I
guess-
have like way bad ping here, so we'll see what the compensation is like. What?
Well, there is a
Also-
limit. Are you above 160? Yeah, well, you're
Probably.
right at it. So you're on the threshold, Mr. Grintz.
I apologize for suggesting this. Oh my god, Mess is just going hard in the paint.
Hard out here for a pimp.
I am auto dodging. lot.
You're moving around all sneaky deaky like.
Sneaky dinky.
Yeah.
Isn't there a way to adjust minimum dodge click time? I think that's in
Yes.
the menu, isn't it?
Yes, there is.
Yes, I need to do that.
We have so many features. So many features,
and
Mr. Grintz.
activities.
Oh, screw you, Paco.
Hey,
I don't like the way you're shooting at me.
I like the cut of my
I
jib.
feel like we're not friends or something.
Where is it? Movement. Dodge click time. Got it.
Down goes Booth.
Booth is
oh,
LP.
No, Drew Tang kills Paco. Welcome to the battlefield, Drew Tang.
Dude, Drew Tang is really good at UT4.
He's good
I
at
see him-
all UTs.
I see him going hard in the paint, playing on the pubs. I mean, he's usually in first place whenever I check it out.
Drew
There we
Tang,
go.
I'm calling it now. He's gonna be a UT4 superstar.
Dude's going professional.
Too tiny.
Just a local circuit, but
The
Just a
whole
local
local
circuit.
superstars, right? Local heroes. Ain't in it for the fame. He's
I'm
that
just
type.
in it.
Drew Tang's that type of guy.
I'm just in it for the
Oh,
women.
the double kill! I'm telling you, I'm gonna be way better at insta-kill than I am at weapons in UT4.
See, I'm going
which
for
is-
better at weapons.
I'm sad. I'm sad about that.
Get off
I'm
my back, Paco.
My bad. I'm just gonna try to be universally good at everything.
Well,
So-
Paco, you can start dreaming. Oh, come here, you. Come here. No, you and that little hop shot.
I mean, it's essential. As I said, like the movement right now, it's just so much more crisp
Oh,
doing
it's
the wiggle
so good.
left and right. Like I can actually play
Damn it, Drew
the
Tang.
alpha.
After I talk to you up like that, you can shoot me in the back twice.
I mean, dude, he's got to live up to the local circuit reputation.
That's right. Drew local circuit Tang.
This is my town.
Not today.
Not today, miss.
Non-local.
Oh, get wrecked, Cafe.
Not today, tourist. Oh, come on, Cafe. Cafe got a reputation to live up to.
Yeah, Cafe's pretty good. Probably the best North American player I've seen. Pub
Oh,
stomping.
Paco, get wrecked.
Oh my god.
That 180. That spawn protection.
Oh,
Yeah, you had it on
back,
too.
Cafe. I'm ruthless. Shot in the face, Cafe.
I think I need to lower my.
Oh,
stats.
Paco! How could you? You know, we should pull a King and a Gib where we all three just team up.
Team up on
Try to find
everyone.
each other, just like assault the server.
Oh my god. See, the problem is, I feel like in UT99, and that's another thing to touch down on. I feel like you can distinguish who's who with the skins. Whereas this one here, unless I have my crosshair and their name comes up,
Right.
I have no idea who I'm shooting at.
That's a big thing, and something that I don't think they're ready to work on yet. But customizable skins and making them your own, like you said, Paco, is huge.
Yeah, just because like even the different classes in 99, I feel like it's just easier to separate. You're like, oh, you know, this guy is War Machine, whereas I feel like these just bigger and clunkier skins, it's tougher to distinguish as much. But I mean, I'm sure that's something that they'll work on down the road.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Not a priority now. Just tough if we want to team up.
But that was such a cool aspect of the game. Was, I mean, if you played with someone long enough, you got to the point where you knew their skin and you knew their movement style enough to where you could pick them out in a crowd.
Oh yeah, Pantera, I could pick out easy peasy. That male commando doing the hops, bit of a wiggle.
Yep.
Probably the guy who resembles Pantera the most is Bug. Like if Pantera could aim as well as Bug, he would be Bug. But now he's Pantera.
It's kind of one of those things that almost like nullified aliasing, because unless they changed their skin too, you knew who they were.
Oh yeah, I feel like I have a pretty distinct movement style. I move a bit like a dummy.
You got that slow movement, we'll say.
Yeah, I don't know.
Special movement.
Yeah, it's a special movement. I'm actually working on making sure that I move properly in UT4. Like UT99 was a lost cause where I only used 2 fingers.
I don't want to ask.
Yeah, however,
Do not listen to this man.
I figured I'd start from scratch and...
That's from above, Mr. Grins.
Yep.
So, I guess we've been playing a little while now. Thoughts on the netcode and compensation, at least with the Insta-Give rifle? I'm starting to get dialed into where I feel like I can hit shots pretty consistently.
Oh,
But I know the movement thing is still affecting it right now, particularly this level.
Yeah, I don't know. Not the biggest fan of this level, to be honest. At least for IDM. But it's okay. Also, not the biggest fan of spawn protection, as I'm sure everybody knows.
Yeah,
But-
it's...
Well, I mean, for weapons pubs, it actually makes a bit of sense to me. But for IDM and Instagive, where, you know, somebody can get a shot off in literally, you know, half a second, less than half a second, it just sort of slows the flow of the game, and it almost rewards the people who are dying. Because no, I mean, you get the first
Right,
crack
you get
at
the
a
first
dude.
shot easily. You have to basically you got to go defensive mode and dodge that first shot. Wait for the spawn protection to come off.
Yeah, which as I said, I'm just not really a fan of that element. I feel like it slows the game down, and it just makes it a bit less fun. So, but I mean, for weapons pubs, I can understand the allure just for IG and probably even, you know, competitive weapons. Just not sure if there's a place for it.
I think it needs to be a server option. If you want it, you can have it, but
Yeah, that's fair too. I just can't really see myself playing with it. It seems like a flow killer. But that is
it
just
slows
my
down
humble
what is a
opinion.
fast-paced game, which I'm
Yeah.
not sure that people want. It doesn't really slow it down. It just it's like if you're on a roll, it stops that. And I've never been a fan on somebody on a game having something that rewards you for not doing good. AKA like kill streaks in Call of Duty or something. Like why would you ever want that? If you're losing, it's because you're not good. So why would the game want to handicap that or reward you for that? Reward you for bad play. Just reward you for good play. But that's just my opinion.
Just
That's
your
your
humble
opinion, and you're sticking to it.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, you got to think about it from also from a dev's point of view, where they want everybody to enjoy the game, even players who are bad. You know, they still need to have fun, and if they're just getting wrecked everywhere they go, maybe.
Well, that's where matchmaking comes in, or casual play, because I do agree with that. You know, it has to be fun. Like, you shouldn't have to put in hours and hours to get to a point where the game is fun, because no one's going to stick with that. It's just, you know, you'd have to be a masochist to keep playing a game like that. But
I am a masochist.
at the same time, you can't dumb the game down and lower the skill ceiling to cater to new players. And I think that's where additional ancillary features like matchmaking or casual mode or something like that, tutorials, all that kind of stuff, prevents the need from hand-holding in-game, you know?
I agree.
Like, they already do a little bit of that already. I mean, you take a look at the timers, which is something they've already said that they don't likely want to have in competitive mode, at least in duels. I mean, that basically helps new players. Yeah, they did at the first event.
Ah, okay. 'Cause I've been keeping up with the streams. I wasn't sure if I heard anything about that. But yeah, I mean, even timers, I feel like on the pubs, timers and spawn protection and all that, I think that's great. But I think when people are playing competitive games, it's intense, you know, me versus the other guy. Just having those types of things, I feel like it takes away just a bit.
Yeah, I mean, spawn killing is part of the game. I mean, it's just you get a little bit of bad luck sometimes.
Well, the thing is, you know, sometimes you're on the wrong end of it, and sometimes you're on the right end of it. Like, it just will, in the end, I think it'll even itself out. And I'm actually in favor of completely random spawns, to be honest.
Well, they actually talked about some creative ways of dealing with the spawn killing issue by having better spawn systems, and then maybe potentially an option, like you could either pick a spawn, just say, like, here's where you're gonna spawn, and you know the guy's there. Like, all right, I want to spawn somewhere else. That sort of option. They've contemplated some sort of, I guess, way around getting spawn killed, but at the same time, I don't think they want to go too drastic with their options.
I feel like something like that's pretty drastic. I don't know, and it's something that, you know, like, we even tested in iPug some algorithm where you had it that it was unlikely to have a guy spawn on someone. And even by that, I mean, it just wasn't nearly as fun. It slows the pace down a game. There's all sorts of negative side effects to trying stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think completely random spawns, you're gonna have weird things. I don't think that's a good idea.
You don't think so?
No, well, I mean, because in a completely random spawn, like, you could spawn literally next to the person or in front of them. You could spawn in someone's bullet. Because if you think it was completely random, like, oh, I just happened to shoot this rocket and they're at a spawn that by accident, and you can respawn there if it's completely random. Also, there's a lot of game types are also about controlling spawns, i.e. 1v1 and TDM, and sometimes CTF. Standing in a certain places near a spawn to block it is high-level mechanic play that's built into the game. Like, if you're in TDM and you killed some guys, you want to take over an area like the belt room so that they don't spawn in there. You don't want them spawning there after you've already taken it over. You want them spawning at least far enough away where you can control the areas, which awards you for being good or having better team play. And in 1v1, a lot of the spawn control is, you know, like, after you kill somebody, you want to move into an area. That means you know you'll have control of this area after you kill that guy. I think it's a higher level mechanic, spawn manipulation. But I do agree that an algorithm that is good enough to be more random than what we see in, you know, say 99 is a good idea.
Yeah, because 99, it's pretty easy to exploit a lot of the spawns, which I don't think is good. But that is just my opinion.
Yeah, but I think it needs to be at least a little bit controllable. But completely random could be insane, because you could literally spawn in a Redeemer blast.
That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Great for the guy who shot the Redeemer.
Well, yeah, because what if you kill the guy with the Redeemer in the beginning and then he spawns back in it and you double kill one dude?
Good point, actually. Also, oh my god, dude, last minute, I gotta step my shit up. I'm -2.
Oh.
Cafe guy's beating me.
I think I'm last
Probably.
place.
I think it's because I'm talking. I can't
I'm like half focused. I'm watching chat, team messages.
So for the next minute, I'm just gonna zone out on everything. I gotta beat this
Go
guy.
for the gold, Paco. You got the touch. Oh man, there's a multi-kill right on Paco's face. Sorry, didn't mean to stop your momentum.
Man, minus
And man,
230.
they still need to fix those spree notifications or kill streak notifications.
Yeah, we're
So
playing in France
blinding.
to test netcode. And I'm all the way from Central Southern America, at the very edge of what the netcode's supposed to compensate. And it's okay. I know there's a little bit. I do have to lead them a little bit. I'm also not all that great at UT4 Instagib.
Well, we also have to take into consideration that the latest movement update, well, I don't want to say completely broke, but at this level probably did break the netcode. Especially in Instagib with the whole wiggle, you know.
God, I just lost the cafe. I'm disgusted.
Good job, Cafe. Give you a
Ugh.
round of applause.
Oh my God,
he's doing the dance!
damn.
Yes!
Waka flaka.
The crap. What? On my screen, he's just like jittering. He's not
Yeah,
actually dancing.
he's not going side to side. He can actually, if he was in game, he could go side to side.
All right,
the
let's-
Jason mask and the jitter. Oh man, it's so good.
Let's switch to a weapon server.
Yeah, I'm
So let's
down.
go back to the States and play some weapons. You guys want to join the other team speak? Anybody's over there?
Doesn't matter to me.
I am indifferent.
You guys are so indifferent. Gosh.
You're different. All right, which server? Montreal's Frosty Flag? I'm already in
We
it.
can even do the LA one outside.
I'm in it.
All right,
I'm in Montreal. Come find me.
come at me, bro.
Montreal.
I'm in one
Like
of these
the
boxes,
Montreal.
Paco. Come find me. If anybody ever gets that, what that reference is, I'll give you a cookie.
Just Juan.
Yep. And like, if this goes on YouTube, somebody in 5 years will find it, watch it, and be like, I get that. Good job, Mr. Grins.
I got
Oh.
that reference.
Yep, and one nerd out there is gonna be like, oh,
See,
I know it.
right now it's on CTF Dam now, and I just don't know if I'm ever gonna like this map.
You know, it's weird. I'm gonna say right now, I like the flag room. I like just the area on the stand, the elevator, the tube, and then the shock. But once you get outside of that, when you start getting into the connections between that and mid, and even mid, it's a mess.
Hey, that's
Yeah,
your
I think
name.
the shape of the map to me is the biggest issue, because it's kind of, I guess, horseshoe shaped. So naturally, by design, it's going to have some space in it that's not useful, you know? Like, the only reason you go there is, like, during a standoff or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't know what it is. It's just the flow to it. I've yet to play it where I say to myself, you know, I enjoy that. Apparently, wow, your translocator just got kapowed by Booth's.
Oh, is that what happened? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware that was a thing.
I am dead.
Man, I wish I had weapon binds.
Eat that.
There were 3 of you there.
Oh my
Yeah,
god,
but
you
see,
guys
I
have
think
cafe.
that's the big reason why outside is just demonstrably better is because it's a linear map, but it also has kind of that tiered element to it. It's got that leveled gameplay, whereas, like I said, this one's shaped like a horseshoe. You just get pockets of engagements rather than consistent, battles and ETF action.
Yeah, I agree. That's definitely a problem. Oh, you're totally gonna kill me with that.
Oh, you like that combo, don't ya?
I knew what was going on.
I love the shock in this game, I will say that. Man, will you stop chasing me, Paco?
Nah, man.
You lowest common denominator too, using the flak. Cheap shot, man. Might
Oh
as
my
well
god,
pull out a
Cafe's
redeemer, dude.
Cafe's trying to get cute on me. Had to punish him.
Cafe, I want you to search and destroy, man. You're on my team. We should be winning. What's happening here? Cafe's supposed to be like the ringer of ringers in UT. I'm not seeing it, man.
Dude, he's going for the disgrace shots on me.
What, trying to telefrag you or something?
Yeah, he's trying to do the telly.
Oh, look at these guys camping the stand. I love it.
The mouse wheel to play. It's so hard.
Be right back, Captain. If I can ever find my way out of this damn base.
Look at that. Got him. Got him, coach.
Did anybody return the flag? I guess you guys aren't going to tell me since you're on the other team. Oh no, probably Cafe.
Oh yeah, they returned it, Paco. No biggie, man.
Yeah, Cafe trying to get tricky.
What? How did you not die to that?
Is he? Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Well, thanks for killing me, Jesus. Needed to get back in the base anyways. I got your back, Cafe. Let's do this.
Dude, this is outrageous.
Execute.
Get on my level, Paco. Gommel.
Man.
I'm being shot.
Oh man, I did a half-court lob hoping to take you down.
From way downtown, beyond the net. Oh, I'm just feeling the combo. They so good.
Oh god.
I've got your back.
Oh no.
That was an oh no.
Yep, I saw him take the amp. That's my oh no.
Oh! Dang it.
I'm bad joke. Oh,
my
damn it.
goodness.
I was gonna say I was a jukebox hero until I died.
Dude, you bumped me off. I was pissed.
Shock, it's the only gun I'm good with in this game. I will primary you all day long.
Ugh.
I'm sorry, man.
I know that was lame. It's the gun I spawned on, though. Come on, Cafe, bring home the bacon. Yeah, baby. I want the multiplier, the crazy bug where you all of a sudden you have like 100,000 points.
Yeah, I want that. I don't even. I wouldn't even care if I'm losing if it said I had 50k points.
Ru-Tang, stop it. Ooh, them strafe combos, Drew. Oh man, I get wrecked by flak in this game.
Hold on, I wish you had the cam on. I would flex my muscles after downing Cafe right there.
Ooh.
I was just too easy.
Oh my god.
Ru-Tang says stream volume a bit low, yo.
It's because the game volume's jacked up.
Crank us up, Mr. Grins. Give it more power.
I just got rocked.
Found my calling, guys. Defense. Defense wins championships.
Paco wins championships.
That's not true.
Said no one ever.
I did play defense against or excuse me. Look at these three attackers. Oh, I think they got my number, huh? I don't think so.
Ooh.
Oh, that's right. I have a best weapon select bind. I have 2 binds. Well, 3 if you count the translocator.
Oh,
The
dude,
shock
I just
goes best
wrecked
weapon.
their O. With a capital A. Jesus of UT3 is going to need a miracle here. Oh, look at Paco. Look at the Paco lurk.
Oh my god.
The Paco lurk. This ain't Counter-Strike, Paco.
Yeah, I was just waiting for Cafe to come so I could rock him, but...
I got your back, Cafe. I'm not going to let that happen to you.
What do you guys think of the mechanic of amp staying around after you die? Do you guys like that?
I do. It creates another dynamic element to where you can't be quite as risky with the amp because you could give it up, you know? Like
Yeah.
before, it's like, it doesn't matter. I got amp. I'm going to go for this 1 on 5. But no, the odds are you're probably going to get killed, and one of those guys is going to get that amp. But you also have to consider how long have I had it. So is it worth risking because it's almost up anyways? Like there, I just took it from you, and it didn't really matter because it was about to be over anyways.
Yeah,
I
fair
like
enough.
that mechanic. I mean, it sounds like you were gonna give a opposing opinion, so you know. Give me your
Yeah,
thoughts.
so my thoughts on it. Well, I guess I'm even thinking for different game types. Like, it would never work in SDOM because, you know, you die, the guy goes down, yada yada.
Well, it's also perpetual in SDOM, which definitely changes things.
Well, I just feel like the team that gets the amp should be rewarded for it. Whereas if the guy dies with it, and, you know, he just sort of passes the baton to somebody else, it sort of takes away from the strength. Like, I feel like it's one of those things that, like, let's say a team is getting trounced. If they were fortunate enough to control the amp, they could use that to come back. Whereas, you know, if they get downed and it's used against them,
I can't get out of the base.
won't really help them that much.
Is the game gonna crash?
I can certainly
I
see the
hope
flip
so.
side to it.
9, 8, 7,
It's one of those things that
4, 3, 2, 1.
rewards person who doesn't go for it just waiting. A stupid pub mechanic? See, I feel like at the highest level, it's just going to add to a little bit of the element.
Because I feel like, you know, you control the amp. The amp is your team's for those 30 seconds. Whereas if you need to worry about losing the amp, I don't know. Like, maybe it's good. It's just something that I haven't really... It hasn't grown on me yet.
You know, Boots also has a mechanic. Do you feel the same way about that?
Being able to pick up the boots.
Yes, if they haven't all been used.
Yeah, I kind of don't think you should be able to. I mean, that one I think is less of a drastic change like the amp. However, I just think it's one of those, if you go down with them, then you should go down. Like,
I
are you
think
going to
that
be able
was
to...
a feature in UT3 as well, so it's not super new, but obviously it's new to us, the guys who are, you know, mostly UT99 related. I'd like to see it played out more. I mean, obviously we're at a point where we haven't seen high-level play with it yet. So.
These are just initial impressions. So maybe I'll change my mind on it. I don't know, just initially, it's just not something that I'm too crazy about.
That's why we have multiple... Whoa, look out for that goo. So that's why we have multiple people for multiple opinions.
Yes.
And
You still
bring it
there,
on, Paco.
You still there, Mr. Grins?
What?
What? Are you zoning right now? I was zoning on the Insta-Jib. Oh my god.
I'm so 11 HP, Paco. That's gotta hurt.
Yeah, oh my god. I knew you had to be low.
Yeah, it was super low.
My KD is just evaporating right now. See, and as I said, I'm not saying this to be overly critical. I mean, CTF outside, when I go on the pub, even if there's less people, I find them generally having fun, whereas just something about the flow of CTF Dam, it just feels disjointed.
It's beyond plotting. Well, I mean, there's not a lot of people in the server for a big map like this, but it just, like I was saying earlier, it just creates pockets of engagement, and it's almost happenstance that they kind of happen, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like the overall choke points aren't super intuitive to the initial user, to the person that just kind of hops in and runs around the map.
Well,
Like, obviously, with more playtime, they'd be more apparent, but, I mean, your average person's just going to be like, where do I go?
True, as Blue Team is now convincingly up 5-0.
It's just second half, boys. We had our break. We feeling refreshed.
I feel like we need a timeout now or something.
Call it.
Need some Gatorade.
Jaderade is what you need.
Some
Gatorade, yeah.
Gatorade.
Blue flag dropped.
That's Sprito.
Red flag taken.
Own wall defense. God, I really do love the movement though. It just, I don't want to say fatigue, but I don't get bored with the movement, you know?
Yeah. No, I agree. Like now I'm finally able to play the alpha for more than 30, 40 minutes. As Scott says, don't worry about your KD scumbag. I gotta worry. It's all about appearances.
Yep, Paco's trying to establish himself here. Create a legend.
I mean, the legend has been created. I just need to spread the word of the legend.
Whoa, no, Cafe! I go for a return.
You're on your own, Cafe.
Oh, man. We both tried to telefrag each other, and then he got me. Nice one, Booth.
Oh my god!
Oh.
Bullshit.
Well, then.
I was
I didn't
hiding
have
in
to do
your
anything.
I was hiding in your base for like 3 minutes. Nobody knew.
You were in our base?
Yeah, I was just chilling there. I wanted to see how long it would take for somebody to find me, until I engaged Cafe with the flags and pretty
Not
much
a good
BS.
ideas.
Oh my god, he single flacked me from across. That was quite far. That was not good. Do I have at least? Do I at least have
Paco.
drop weapon bow? So can throw
I wish
away
I was
guns I'm not gonna
demoing,
use?
friend. Or streaming or recording or something.
Yeah.
I hit the crazy combos.
How much damage did I do to you there, by the way?
Down to, I had armor though. No, I had pads, I mean. So I'm at 84.
Oh my god, I just own Cafe so bad right now.
Oh, he typing in chat.
I was just telling it around, I didn't even have a weapon, and he was trying to amp me. And yeah, sometimes the cookie crumbles the wrong way, Cafe.
And that's the way the cookie crumbles.
But he's tenacious, he's back, he's grabbing again.
Cafe, pretty brutal. Gotta watch out.
Whoa! Oh my god.
Bring home the fabric. Here you go, Cafe. Hey, there, Cafe's getting that weird thing. He's got 66,000 points.
No, I think he just actually has 66,000.
Oh, right. That's even better.
Oh my god, you just rocked me, Mr. Greens.
Oh my god, I jumped backward into a wall.
This is where you die. I wanted to be the one who dealt the final blow. I feel like Lineage stole my kill on that one. Can we get that one on the record, Mr. Grins, that I did most of the work
What?
on that last flag kill?
I didn't notice.
Paco needs his consolation prize, man.
Man, I need it.
Man, I do not know this map.
That's why I stay on D.
You only need to learn smaller portion. Not like we're getting out of your base.
Got your back.
Roger.
Cafe's saying it might be interesting to have some boots on this map. I don't even know if boots would make this map interesting.
Oh, I can come out this
Although-
window?
Where you at?
Oh, there's a window
Oh, yeah.
here.
Yep.
If I had enough health, I'd rocket jump off that.
Oh,
thanks.
yeah, right to the belt.
Yeah, that worked out quite nice, actually.
You bastard. Comboed you to the belt. Hey, look what I found.
I swear, if I knew this map.
You knew this map it would be 10-0 instead of 7-0?
Yep. I'm trying to find vials or something.
Where's Messy Poo at?
Let's see, I think the armor's over here.
Oh my
Oh
god!
my god, Paco. Get wrecked.
Oh no!
Ridiculous.
Blue flag.
Okay, here's what I want to do. You ready for this, Cafe? No, Cafe, you're in the way! They spotted me! No, Cafe!
Oh my god!
Blue flag returned.
Dude, I was so close to telling you.
30 seconds left.
Oh my god, I don't know where the flag is! Cafe, guide me!
Let your senses guide you.
I'm coming, boys! Ah! I did it. Good job,
Mr.
team.
Grins, you captured!
I fell off the
Congratulations,
back.
friend.
I made it!
Dude, how far did that rocket jump take you, by the way?
Victory.
I went all the way to the middle
Yeah.
thing. It didn't go too
Cutthroat.
far,
It was pretty funny.
but it was worth.
I don't know how to
Good.
do the dance. How do I do
The-
the dance?
The Dikembe finger wag?
I don't
Not
think
on
so.
my court.
All right, guys. I think that's gonna be us for the stream for tonight.
Not today, red team.
5,
Thanks for hanging out.
3, 2,
Thanks everybody joining us in the server. I will see you guys later. I think all of us own well. We'll see you guys later. We'll definitely be on Sunday. And I don't know. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Sunday-
Mr. Grins for handling the stream again.
Sunday, Monday. Yeah, big props. Also, congratulations on your capture.
Thank
I'm
you.
happy for you. Also, I hope you caught there that I just got the first blood.
Nope.
Oh, no. But yeah.
Alright,
Anyways,
guys,
it was
thanks for
fun.
watching.
Yeah.
Bye.
Goodbye.